Hey guys, I hope you like my thumbnail for this video. Okay, the man walked to the girl's room quickly. It was clear the girl had not bothered to take the key from her door earlier. Despite this, there was no room inside the room. He swiftly opened the door, letting a rush of air into the room. Inside the room, there was a poster on the wall which flapped noisily. Why? Why did she have to be out now? He told her to stay put. Even when she had nothing to do, without realizing it, felt like shouting, like he, without realizing it, he felt like shouting obscenities at her. That being said, the man had fully realized that there would have been no sense to be drawn from his words. If he had done so, no matter what he said to her, that girl would just forget everything. Laying out a large sigh, Matsuda Yasuki dropped his line of sight to where his hands were. His hands remained scrunched into tight fists. No matter how many times he tried to relax them, it was impossible. He had lost feeling in them long before. He could still feel more summy Soshin's neck squeezed between his hands. More summy Soshin's red eyes flashed through his mind. Suddenly, he squeezed his fists more. It was like his hands were still wrapped around the boy's neck, suffocating him a bit. Why did she have to be out now? He whispered in a much weaker tone. Then, before as he left the room, he exited the dormitory and soon Matsuda found himself heading towards the biology building in the East District. If he were hurt, then he would be there. There wouldn't be another place a girl who had forgotten everything would be. It wasn't even the height of summer yet, but alright, the back of Matsuda's dirty shirt was drenched in sweat, covered in perspiration. He felt like he was as heavy as lead. It should have taken about 10 minutes to reach the biology building on a normal day, but this time it took at least twice the amount of time. Even so, Matsuda somehow finally reached the biology building. Looking like a broken wind-up toy, he scaled the stairs in a strange, awkward waddle, and within a few minutes was standing in front of the neurology research facility. As he took a deep breath in, he roughly opened the door. He looked into the room with hope. However, there was no one there. It was still too early to be discouraged by this, but an uncomfortable feeling stirred in him. What happened here? It had not been hidden well. There were traces of vandalism in there, on the desk, on the bed, all over the laboratory. Laboratory. Don't tell me. His expression changed as he quickly hurried over to the bed. Something moved under it as if it had anticipated his actions. Who's there? As he instinctively raised his voice, he reached down and raised the bedsheet. He saw a girl under the bed. Matsuda felt his stab of anxiety ease with some relief, but within the next moment that but that relief was blown away like an explosion. Matsuda saw the bed thrown into the air. It drifted through the air, looking as though it was much lighter than what it truly was. It soon began to spin around in a dizzying motion. After spun for an inconceivable amount of time, it finally fell to the ground like gravity had at last remembered it existed. The bed sheet, still in Matsuda's hand, and flipped upwards, and lightly grazed against his nose and floated back down to the ground. A deep rumbling echoed through the room. After the rumbling had come to a stop, Matsuda heard a voice, or more specifically, Matsuda heard a laugh. On the other side of the bed stood a group from before. Wow, talk about good reflexes. I wasn't expecting you to be there. I thought it was yet another idiotic girl. That girl from earlier had a stupid grin plastered to her face. And all the guys I've seen up to now in this place seem to smell like they're bunkers. But maybe their appearance was grandeur enough to make them at least a bit attractive. That girl was trying to give him instructions. Even if it was in a strange way, and that Matsuda guy asked her questions like he was ignoring her. He just wanted to hear about that girl. He wanted to know about her so much it was unbearable. He was so fascinated by it. He looked at her eye over and over again like he was looking it all up. Then naturally, it shouldn't be surprised his dangly bumper was all her. For God's sake. Matsuda suddenly kicked the bed beside him. A metallic clanging echoed through the lab. Oh my, are you mad? The girl continued smiling all the same, but it's me who wants to be angry. Hey, why aren't you looking at the ridiculously adorable face of one Enoshima Junko? Like a lust-driven demon. Why is it? Hey, why aren't you that word? As he heard the girl's words, Matsuda remembered something. I knew it. You really are weird. Am I? But you see, this is really weird for me. That's your real personality, isn't it? Wait. Quit with those comments about my personality. Enoshima quickly switched to an offended tone of voice. For sure, you're making it sound like up until now I was just feigning innocence. But I've been making sure I keep at least one aspect of me the same. So you'll know it's me for sure, no matter how I am. Still, since I fall easily, I pretty much hit the snooze button as soon as you got such a sloppy personality. Even still, what's your purpose? Matsuda interrupted Enoshima with a question. His expression changed to a glare. Oh. Getting serious? You won't waste your time talking to the ever-famous Queen of Chang. It's like we're in a Saiyan battle, right? Just answer me. Frustrated, Matsuda raised his voice angrily. What is it you want to achieve? Just what is it you're trying to do? Enoshima tilted her head slightly to the side. Nothing really. I don't want to do anything. What? It's too late. I shan't do a thing. I'm not going to do a single thing. I have everyone else doing it for me. Guys like the student council, the headmaster, or the steering committee. And also that girl who you absolutely adore. Everyone is running around doing my work. Hearing that, Matsuda's face went dark red. You already know what I'm doing? Whatever are you saying? Enoshima raised her head. Matsuda looked down at her. I've known what you were doing for a very long time now. You've been doing exactly as I intended you to do. So what are you saying? Hey, won't you tell me? Matsuda clenched his jaw outward, seeing that Enoshima quivered with an ecstatic look stuck to her face. Matsuda-kun's face sure is amazing right now. That despair-induced face you're showing me, I'd like to see it more. Become more and more and more and more despair-induced. Flip off. Matsuda's face contorted into rage. Watching him, Enoshima snorted and chuckled. She placed her hands behind her back as she casually inspected her surroundings. Moving on though, Matsuda-kun, what is it you plan to do from now on? What do you mean? He immediately responded. Enoshima suddenly reached out and grabbed Matsuda's wrist. Oh no! Your hand is wounded. You won't scratch, will you? It looks painful. Should I kiss it better? Matsuda quickly tried to pull away his hand, but Enoshima held on tightly. Now let's see. These scratches were caused by some other guy, weren't they? It looks like he was probably an honor student, but he was terribly ill. And when he made this wound, he was probably bedridden with shock, wasn't he? How do you know that? I don't know. I just understand because it was all part of my plan. And Enoshima brought her own face close to Matsuda's pale face and grinned crazily. Oop, 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 oop. Gotcha, just kidding. She then released Matsuda's hand and once again absorbed her surroundings. Still, I'm sure there's a precious existence you want to protect. That's right, this is disturbingly similar to that thing with your mother. You must feel awful sorry. Oh, speaking of your mother, I can't help but feel that Otonashi Ryoko-chan looks just like her. You know, they have the same kind of atmosphere and stuff. I wonder if they shared some sort of connection or similarity to each other. Or maybe you're the connection. I don't know if it's intentional or not. But it's nice that your friend is so forgetful, just like your mother. I gotta say, it seems like guys today are really into MILFs. You especially seem to like those MILFs who forget their own miserable backstory. As she turned to Matsuda, Enoshima looked up at him persistently. She happily bounced, walking around him over and over again. That's why you want to protect her well this time. I get it. You feel sorry for her. Even so, you're troubled. You're incredibly troubled. That's what it seems like after what I've been hearing. And she must stood in front of Matsuda. She glared more intensely at him. For real though, what do you plan to do from now on? Matsuda opened his mouth, trying to find words to say, only to close it again. His pale lips trembled a little, but he could only muster a glare directed back at Enoshima. Enoshima looked like she had been expecting his reaction, and she began to walk quietly again. I suppose it can't be helped. Oh dear. I'll just have to think about this one a little harder. However, immediately after she said that, she stopped walking. Don't get me wrong or anything, she yelled out as she went bright red with embarrassment. I don't really mind. If you don't care about it still, it's up to me, even though I'm unreliable. And I can't just leave it be. He didn't understand the reasons why. Enoshima changed her personality with no context. Matsuda wasn't able to follow along with the conversation's direction at all. She paid no mind to his reaction at all, and started to walk around again as if nothing had happened. But I did say I'd have to think about this for a bit. But really, there's only one way to go about things. And Oshima circled around Matsuda as his eyes followed her, and she continued in a very straightforward tone. It's Kamakura is no matter what happens, he'll end up with the blame. He ran away and that's fine, since he's the cause of the incident they called the worst and largest in Hope's Peak Academy's history. In that case, it should be easy to fix the issue with the student council president and the issue with the guys from the steering committee. Those guys are just trying to cover it up again. Anyway. Hearing her words, Matsuda muttered inside his head. I knew it. Still, if that guy said what he thought was true, then that means it just makes less and less sense. Just tell me, what are you trying to achieve? You know what? I told you before, didn't I? I'm not trying to do anything, she screamed in a high-pitched voice and then laughed off. I'm just leaving this interesting tea party. I've had enough interrupting things. Right now I'm just existing as a C-list character. I don't do anything else. He didn't know if her words were truly her honest feelings on the matter. No matter how many times she could repeat herself, he probably never would know. Matsuda understood that at least. Well, in the end, it's all up to you. I really don't care what you do with this situation. Yeah, do whatever you like, because I'll accept whatever ending we come to. Enoshima stopped walking. She stood in front of Matsuda and turned to the boy before posing another question. So what will you do? It's all dependent on whether you go along with it or not, isn't it? Although Matsuda had understood what she was saying, Matsuda had to ask her something. You know where this Kamakura guy's whereabouts are? Nope, not a clue. Enoshima quickly shook her head. Matsuda frowned. But you said Kamakura would get the blame and nothing. Just relax about it. It'll all be clear soon enough, she interrupted him in a high-pitched voice. I know what the guys who know where Kamakura is are and what they're doing. Soon I'll know where Kamakura is too. The steering committee? Ding dong, correct, Enoshima announced with a cocky attitude. If you heard it from those guys, then Kamakura's whereabouts should be easy enough to look out. But even if they did that, doesn't mean I know where he is, right? Enoshima remained with a cocky attitude, but her voice deepened. That's right. It doesn't mean that. At that moment, the girl's expression slipped and her face deepened, like she had lost interest in everything. But perhaps that is not such a big deal. I mean, if those guys don't say, then that just means Kamakura's whereabouts remain unknown. Your plan will fail and I'll be ruined. But that's all that will happen. So you shouldn't pay too much mind to it. As she murmured in a monotone voice, Enoshima turned to the window and walked towards it. Her eyes filled with melancholy as she leaned against the window and stared outside. The laboratory overlooked the East District's courtyard and the preparatory school parade. You're talking as if it doesn't matter if I fail. Matsuda raised his voice in a puzzled tone and looked towards Enoshima's back. Because it doesn't matter, the girl continued to stare out the window and laughed absent-mindedly. In private, I would always think something along the lines of how despair-inducingly wonderful it must be to put an end to something as insignificant as small fish. She said things that she never meant to say. Her words were a reflection of her true feelings that lay in her heart. Then that means you really are weird. So-sos. You don't like that, do you? Enoshima looked back and had an innocent smile on her face, as if he was mistaken. She had the face of a devil one moment, and in the next she smiled like an angel. She hadn't intended to make either face. That's why he continued to shake as he talked with the girl. He felt more than exhausted. That's right. For that girl's sake, it's not like you can lose. Her pure and innocent smile remaining on her face. Enoshima turned and walked silently to Matsuda. Oop, oop, oop. You really are someone who's in true love. You're prepared to fight for your love, I bet. When they say love is fine, they were thinking of you. That doesn't mean you do stupid things. Actually, I'm grateful. You're destined to spend an eternity with that person, so I thank you from the very bottom of my heart. Enoshima walked up to Matsuda and didn't come to a stop until finally their toes were touching. She whispered gently to him, "Do your best, Matsuda-kun, because that's what I expect. Defeat the despair you face and let hope win." Shining victorious, because that's what I expect will happen. As she whispered quietly, Enoshima leaned towards him until their faces almost touched, and she then leaned in more. In the next moment, their lips touched. Matsuda didn't break away. He was puzzled, but he gave up and just accepted as it was. It was vicious, long, and trying a violent kiss. After a time that was far too long to be described in a single word, Enoshima finally pulled away. In the moments after the kiss, she backed away from him, and in dead silence, she walked to the laboratory door. "Where are you going?" Matsuda asked as he wiped his mouth. In return for the kiss, I thought I'd lend you a bit of a hand, said Enoshima, laughing. But she quickly stopped. "Wait, you don't need to go out of your way." But his mouth wouldn't move. No, it wasn't just his mouth. His entire body felt numb and was immobile. "Oof, oof, oof. Looks like you were caught by such a classic too, Matsuda-kun." Looking at the frozen Matsuda, Enoshima looked like she was a kid who had just gotten a beloved toy. She was smiling, overcome by joy. "You know, lipstick is a dangerous thing. My lipstick, for example, has been tainted with poison." Poison. It just sounds like a classic, so nostalgic. But don't worry, it's not life-threatening. Enoshima happily bounced around Matsuda's still form. Knowing her plan worked, she proudly let her joy show. She finally let herself bounce in front of Matsuda. "Now then, I should give you one final piece of advice." Enoshima suddenly switched to a serious expression like a box of moments before the bell rings. "You know, in this scenario, only you can make the choice, Matsuda-kun. So think carefully, worry about it, and choose the choice you think is best. Hope or despair. The choice is so diverse and yet surprisingly intricately connected. Anyway, have a good think about it. It's no good. I'm tired now. I wonder if this conversation is just that tedious. Well, whatever. In any case, that's our conversation for now. Goodbye." She brought the one-sided conversation she had started to a one-sided end. Enoshima staggered out of the lab. "Wait!" Despite yelling it out, no sound escaped Matsuda's mouth. The boy stood paralyzed, waiting for feeling to return to his body. The next chapter is long. So yeah, bye guys.